There was a match ball there. One of them got him on it. One of them got the M on him there, Brendan. Well, you want to be the play game, and you don't want to be the play game.
That was Declan Graham. Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on that one for you. In the process, I'm having this one. One job. Honestly, one job. One does go over. He just had cut box, so he's taking yeah, he's got enough blue on. Come on, boys.
I think we're coming through loud and clear here. With experimental stuff going on here in the pre-season here as we gear up for the NPL Tasmania season, just 9 days away. South Hobart taking on the Glenorchy Knights. A chance for both of these sides to have a little bit of a tune-up as an early cross comes in. A chance here for the Boyle Stream and Slice of Cheese team to have a tune-up as well, Paul Hunt.
Wednesday night, perfect night for a tune-up. I used to do it down at the telly in 2010 and now I do it commentating. So Wednesday night is tune-up night in my world as we might see South Hobart, the archer Jack Bowman, knock that one out for a throw-in. Should we quickly run through the teams here? Knights have got the ball, so we might as well do that. They've got Trent LaRosinal in goal, and then I'll just run through all the outfield players in the order on the team sheet. We've got Jack Kupsch, Teddy Kadisha, Tom Young, Declan Graham, who's got a very impossible number to find out on this team sheet as well, as you may have heard earlier. Alex Bellini, Sam James, Declan Brown, Rowan Heggie and Nick Naden and Jake Stewart are starting. And in terms of who they can bring off the bench, it's the salad, Tommy Bellini, Dimitri Nesta, Genga Magar, Jack Herbert and Aaron Marnie as well, rounding out the Glenorchy Knights team.
So a good team there. Their opposition, South Hobart here. We've got Graham Wright, the Scotsman in goals, Adam Gorry at fullback, Jack Bowman, the Danish centre-half Erasmus Philipsen, as the ball is being knocked around here at the moment. Tobias Savainen's come across from the Kingborough Lions. I'd imagine he's at left back if we've got the list here in a formation order, which it seems to be, with Farrell, DeSouza and Foley, the former Knight, playing against his former team here today in the midfield three, and Walter, Hamlet and Morton in attack. But at the moment it's the opposition who are picking them back a little here, with Declan Brown looking to get in behind, but South able to deal with it. And here is Adam Gorry. He's had a bit of interest from rival clubs this off-season. Been linked a few times I've seen Adam Gorry, but Ken Morton just has a way of keeping him, and seems to be here at South Hobart.
Not the first season that's happened for Adam Gorry either.
Quite often a favourite of the rumour mill. He's Darcy Street's favourite ranger. They did manage to get Gilly DeSouza, and I think he's going to be a really key signing when we talk about the player moves, as this one's played into Nick Morton, who's touch just away from him. And that was in La Rossignol. It was a dangerous ball over the top. Knight's nearly caught out there.
Yeah, good long ball over the top, just looking to exploit the pace of Nick Morton, who by the looks of it is starting up top in a number 9 role for this match. We saw him occasionally drift into that position, but I'll imagine with Walter, Hamlet and Morton all having played together for a few years, there'll be plenty of fluidity in that South Hobart attack. It's a good challenge put in there from Sam James, who seems to be the nominal captain out on the field the Knights this evening. Morton still played inside, well intercepted, and surely a shirt tug there by Declan Foley, the recent arrival from the Glenorchy Knights. A stellar role in Come Knights up at Party in the Paddock a couple of weeks ago. A real feature, focal point of that festival was the appearance of Foley in Come Knights. So the Rosenal, there's a raking ball out wide where Adam Gorry will see that one out nice and easily.
What are we expecting from both these teams this year, you reckon, Paul? South Hobart always in the title race, it seems, every year. It's the expectation of the club, and I'd imagine they'll be there and thereabouts this year. Glenorchy Knights, what are you expecting from them, their first season back up in the top flight?
Oh, look, I mean, just with the amount of quality and indeed quantity that Glenorchy Knights have, you've got to expect they'd be pushing for a top 4 spot. That would be, I think, their aim to end up in the top, I can't even say top half anymore with the 9 in the top.
That's,
yeah.
4's in the top half, 5th is not.
5th is not, that's true. It will break from that tangent. Hamlet has a shot from way out, and he's hit that one wide. Rosenal had a good view of that one the whole way. I just think Knights, they're a bit different to other teams that have come into the NPL previously. Riverside this year, and obviously Clarence replacing them a few years ago, is that pretty much every player that on this team sheet, even this pre-season game, has got NPL experience, or at least SPL experience when that was the top division here.
And we did see them in the Lacquer Seljuk Cup in particular, really testing those bigger sides. And of course making it all the way to the final in 2017, as this one's chipped the top there, charging through the Knights to get back on it. And looking at wide here, looking to slide it in, but again, Adam Gorry defending his flank very well, as looks like our main man Tony Peart in the middle today, also just prepping himself. I think he'll have the season opener, the Englishman. Just getting one up here as this one's shot, and sliding past. In the end, will be a corner. Keeper, it's a little uncertain. But will eventually be a goal kick, so overruled in the end, I think.
Yeah, I think just took a nasty bobble. That shot in front of La Rosenal from Gilly D'Souza, another new addition to this South Hobart squad, previously with Kingborough, and then made his way to New South Wales halfway through the season last year. He's obviously been drawn back due to his probably better food options in South Hobart, I think, would be a main reason. He does love a good brunch, does Gilly D'Souza. I think maybe just having Ginger Brown down the road might have just got him to South Hobart this season.
Undoubtedly one of the allures of the place is Ginger Brown. So no, fantastic to have Gilly DeSouza back in the league. I think he's going to be a really, really big player this year. Just probably lacked a little bit of support at times at Kingborough, someone to play those short range 1-2 passes with. You'll suit a team like South Hobart to an absolute T. And playing in midfield, he's played in a few different roles at Kingborough, but see him really having an impact. And it's Loic Farrell, Ken Morton really talking up his form. I was speaking with him recently. He's been really on fire over the last few weeks of the pre-season. Going to be a big part of this season as the Danish centre-half with a little bit of trouble playing out here, South Hobart. Here's Sam James sliding it through. But again, it was the Danish centre-half, Erasmus, dealing with it.
I think the thing with Loic Farrell is he's always been an integral member of South Hobart, but he's really played that sort of, in NBA you'd call it six-man role. He's pretty versatile and has played in just about every position across midfield and defence at his time, but I think him playing as that number 6, I think that's the position he prefers the most. He can buzz and harry around in there and let D'Souza play a few more raking balls as Knights just about win the first corner of the day. No, Graham Wright has kept that one in play. I just think it'll add more balance to the South Hobart side this year, having 2 solid defensive midfielders, which seems like what they're aiming for today, is Vinen going to play it out from the back. Darcy Street in pretty good nick, a few bobbles here and there in pretty good nick as Ngari, without being able to see that line there, I assume that was out before he just decided to punch it 20 yards back.
Yeah, look, full disclosure, this, as we're saying, we're experimenting here today. We're not actually at Darcy Street. The powers of technology. This is magic of Ash Wilkes and Mindstream. We don't even have to be at the ground and we're streaming it. So just trialling a few new things, but that far line, the easiest to call off a monitor, Paul.
I don't think they've relined it anyway, ready for the new season. I believe there's a few night matches happening at Darcy Street this season as well, from memory.
Well, the twilight ones, that's for sure. Getting the dogs off the pitch, obviously, their other issue there. I mean, having a real battle with that one.
I was going to say, I thought Graham Wright might have slipped on some dog poo there with that earlier slip.
Unfortunately, a distinct possibility whilst, Vera continues to be treated as second class. But, I digress.
Not the first time South Hobart Oval's been like that. It's been like that since the 1920s.
Indeed, as DJ Heggie steps up here on the corner and whips this one near post, and it's a bullet header into the back of the nets. Dream start here, and that's the former Newts Taroona man, Thomas Young, who is a fantastic player. Really been waiting to see him in the NPL. He's always had that ability. Looking forward to seeing what he can do at Knights, and there's a demonstration of it. Very good in the air is Tom Young. Just peels off, and that is just textbook. Gets in, sneaks it near post. 1-0 Knights.
Yeah, certainly had the height advantage over Havinen there at the near post, and Tom Young, one of the taller players on the team. I'm not quite sure why Havinen was marking him, possibly maybe zonal rather than man, and that's where Havinen ended up. But a bullet header from Tom Young, who, as you say, has been in the Southern Championship for a few years now with Taroona, always one of the top teams in there, and good to see him move up to the NPL, and that's the way you can rocket headers in. I think we're going to see a few more of them this season.
Obviously won the Vic shooting a couple of years ago, I think, did Tom Young. He's a versatile player, but really hit the scoreboard. I know Hobart Zebras were really trying to lure him across over the past couple of years, so Knights have done well to secure his services. I'm sure he'll be an integral part of this team. Some good attacking options there. Of course, the Brown boys, Nick Naden, Bellinis. There is some attacking threat and guile in this Knights side, as South Hobart have just found out. It's their Danish centre-half rolls it across to the archer. Now Adam Gorry, head up, sends in a dangerous-looking ball, well away by Teddy Kadisha though. Sliding to keep that one in was, I think, Graham. I think he might be number 20. We're still trying to get to the bottom of what number he actually is. I'm thinking that might be him there in the number 20. By pure deduction.
Yeah, luckily at least these are 2 teams that we're trying this where we've seen a lot of them before, so I think deduction has proven that is Graham, as Gorry looks to slide that one through, gets as far as Hamlet. D'Souza's onside. Morton's in an acre of space. Samuel James coming across from that right back position just to clear it out. Promising move there from South Hobart. Morton, assuming he would have been onside there, just about in line. Yeah, they are obviously had a far better view of that than us. D'Souza, Alex Walter trying to go for the nutmeg. And he's definitely Declan Graham, number 20. Not quite as bad a stitch-up as our last game we commentated, Devonport Heidelberg, where we had a complete wrong number on there from memory.
Yeah, a few interesting ones in the other game, the Hakeem game too, the other day. An interesting start, but the pre-season, I think, reading too much about that as Marnie striding by there for Knights. Was from Metro last season, I believe, as This one's worked into the bullseye. South Hobart looking around. Bowman gets himself into a bit of bother here. In real trouble. Bowman eventually gets rid of it. Bellini offering it out. An uncomfortable moment there. Suddenly it was looking like it could break 2v1 for Knights.
Yeah, looking pretty solid here, Knights, in the opening stages of this game. Looking pretty confident both in defence and going forward. Just the throw in taken relatively short. Just switch it out to the right flank. Jack Kupsch looking to play it forward. Declan Brown trying to use his pace against the new Danish centre-back and actually ends up using his strength to his advantage there. And then Phillipson, a relatively agricultural challenge there on Jake Stewart, another new player to the Knights team. And one of the more obvious free kicks we'll see all season.
Yeah, Erasmus with a very blatant one there. Definitely not in the shadows with that. He was right in the eye line of the assistant referee and he certainly wasn't going to get away with it. Free kick in a promising position here. Kupsch will get over to someone. Declan Brown for a bad option. Bellini also running across. Callum Brown this tonight, but forward to seeing what he can do this year as well. Team Knights, as we've said, and they'll add plenty to the competition this year. And the Brown brothers will be a big part of that in attack. Don't you worry, two terrifically talented youngsters tearing it up in the championship. Declan Brown swings this to the back post. And a foul spotted there. Leaving free kick for South. But good signs for the Knights here in the opening 15, really taking the game up to the hosts.
Absolutely, and in my memory, Declan Brown win big shooting last year. Callum was the one that won it last year. It was one of the two, as it looks like some nearly substitution there. Declan Foley's moved to the sideline for South Hobart. Didn't quite see it was coming on. Let's hope that's just a precautionary measure. One of South's new additions, as that's a good ball out from right, finding Gorry. First time ball in the direction of Hamlet. All cleared back to Walter. Hamlet's in the centre and a good clearing header in the end from Teddy Kadisha initially. And coming across after that is the goal scorer Tom Young. And two centre backs doing well for Knights. This one's coming in from Adam Gorry, looking towards the back stick, rising high, bobbling Hamlet, good save Lorosinal. Good direction on the header from Hamlet. Right into the arms of Lorosinal though.
So a safe pair of hands there, the Knights keeper. So they will back off and he'll look to chip this one up there, nod it on. Jake Stewart, who's come across from Clarence, and he's driving at the South Hobart defence here. Nick Naden, the former red there. Play together Clarence, but it'll be a good get-to for Glenorchy Knights. It was a bit of a one-man army at times, and that Clarence team up top wasn't really getting the supply he was after. I think he'll get a bit more ammunition in this Glenorchy Knights midfield, and he's driving it to Vainen here, gets in behind him, puts the cross in. No one on hand though. Steered away, James. Top of the box, Bellini curling one straight to right. Scotsman not going to be beaten by that, and he gets them moving very quickly too. Good distribution. Graham Wright down the line further. Building promisingly. Hamlet now slides it in for Nick Morton. Heavy touch. Easily dealt with there. So it's just flowing from end to end. Knights now hit them back the other way. Nick Naden showing a great burst of pace. Lobs the keeper. Nick Naden is a 2-0, though it's wide of the mark. A glorious chance goes begging for Glenorchy Knights. Nick Naden, right idea, just couldn't quite find the execution.
That seemed too simple there from Glenorchy Knights. All over the top, in between Rasmus and the archer Jack Bowman. Probably went the good idea there with the chip, but just not quite the direction. Knights again showing real promise here this evening. Right, dangerous ball across the box. Actually, Bowman will get to it. Searching ball forward again, right to Samuel James. Now Graham calls a handball, not heeded, and eventually cleared. Again, just with South Hobart, it seems like the same as last season. They haven't quite settled on their #1 goalkeeper. going into the season. I remember Wright starting out at North Hobart Oval round 1, but then Kieran Brown really solidified that going into the season. I'm just not sure if they're rotating their keepers in pre-season or whether there's still a bit of a battle for the #1 spot going on.
I reckon that's probably the case. I think Kieran Brown's probably secured the #1 spot, and Wright will want to be there pushing him if he does slip up at all. Morton just wanting to give both of them a few starts before the season gets underway, make sure if anything did happen, they're both ready to be called upon. And Wright, watch this one go out of play, but enviable goalkeeping depth, really, having those two. If you do cop an injury, have a reliable #1. So this one back by Declan Brown, forcing error. Tobias Havanen there. The Salza. Well, it's Jake Stewart drawing a free kick, I'd have thought. And he has, so he's White's doing all the attacking here, really camped around the box, and South Hobart's defence being put under the pressure.
Good to see the magic spray still in use in pre-season. Tony Pert, ever the professional. Wonderful addition to the competition last year, that was.
Tony or the spray?
Wow.
Run with both.
Yeah, let's run with both.
Big fan of the magic spray, but fair to say, Tony's done a fair job with the refs. It's just about tripled recruitment numbers as Brown swings this one to the back post, and it's a fist away there from Graham Wright. And Gorry out off it. An upcoming course if you're based up in the north of the state. There's one up there. Around the state, turning people away at the moment.
Yeah, I believe there was a level 4 available next Monday, but I don't know, I tried to get into it a while ago and couldn't, so let's see if there's more spots left.
Not even sure there is at the moment, so they're doing a great job with the recruitment. You're out there considering taking up the whistle. As good a time as any. Get involved. The game obviously can't be run without them. Right to Gorry. Back to the Rasmus. I tell you what, these the Redheads in the back line are going to stitch us up a bit this year, I reckon, Paul.
Luckily, there's a slight height difference. Not much else as Brown is beaten out into Souza. Plays it to Bowman. Plays it to Havainen. Going down the wing, just out of reach of the substitute. I believe that'd be even Larby, I would assume. Foley has come off. Got 15, which is Martin. Our team sheet's cut off. So let's just run with Martin for the moment. To Souza. I'll play that one forward. As far as Young. Back to Declan Graham. Hayden on the wing. Eventually cleared and called for offside. Surely heated on the Morthold. He was about 5 yards offside.
Out in mid. M squared.
Yeah. Maybe this is where we prefer the magic spray over Tony.
Take a bit of photo, lad, come on. So it's a free kick here. Knocked forward by Knights. Putting up it nicely was Heggie. To the cross and the throw in. Graham laying it there off of Adam Gorry. South Hobart's season opener. Just 9 days away, taking on Olympia. Slightly longer wait for Knights. They would have played Rangers in round 1, so unlucky. You've now got the bye. And, they'll have to wait for week 2. I think they travel up to Riverside in their season opener. The battle of the competition newcomers up there.
Yeah, looking forward to heading up to Windsor Park at some point this season. One of the few grounds in Tasmania I've never had the pleasure of visiting, so that one's certainly high on the bucket list for the season, as that one's intercepted by Young in front of Morton, given away to Gorry, wins it back as the goal scorer. Bowman moves that one clear. Yeah, all very excited for that triple header next Saturday, as well as South Hobart Olympia. I just think having those 3 in the one day is just really building some excitement nicely.
Yeah, should be a good day of football at KG5, March the 2nd. Do come along to that one. Should be a fantastic footballing feast, really, and 3 games for the price of 1. What would you want? Should be a great way to open the season. As you say, the South Hobart Olympia game, always fiery contests opening the season up. Saw a spectacular season opener last year. South Hobart and Hobart Zebras I'll take that kind of entertainment again, that's for sure.
Yeah, when your opening game ends up in probably the top 5 games of the season, you know, you're in for a good season. It's really set the tone. Did that opening game out at North Hobart. As D'Souza picks it up, Gorry overlapping as he does. He's probably put a bit too much purchase on that as Gilly. And will fall out to Rosenall for a goal kick. Yeah, between the triple header and the more North Hobart games, which I'm always all about, it's shaping up to be an exciting season ahead as Rosenall's calling for all players to move up. We'll launch this one, aiming for his central striker. Look for Rahl underneath it and wins the header, but only goes out, so distance gain there from the 9, so it was Heggie he was up against. And taking the throw in is Graham. Receives it back looking down the line. Eventually cleared. D'Souza, Hamlet. North Hobart, he's tried to square up Teddy Kadisha there, but nothing has got past the Teddy Bear so far this evening.
He's been solid out the back. South Hobart asking too many questions just yet. A couple of balls into the area, but that's definitely shaded the first quarter of the game here as it's in there to the substitute M squared, past Graham. Before now, Stewart couldn't quite find Brown in there to Sousa. Scrap through the middle, Kadisha with an errant touch, almost lets in Alex Walter. And across comes Le Rossignol. To do his fullback. Pass though, straight to Adam Gorry, had a poor touch. This is real pre-season football at the moment, Paul Hunt.
Yeah, you can see there's a bit of rust on show, except for Le Rossignol's left foot pass there. He's not a natural left footer from memory as the Knights goalkeeper. Nicely weighted pass out to his fullback. And still a few heavy touches going around here. Not sure if, is this their last pre-season game for each side?
I think Knights maybe have one more
on the weekends. So
yeah, they travel up to Devonport on Saturday. I think might be South Hobart's final hit out though. I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah, Morton picks it up in the centre of the park. Souza and Hamlet coming forward. Hamlet jinking onto the right foot, but again Kadisha getting the block in. And it's M squared. Looking out for Walter. Walter looking to go to the byline, and he does. Just about keeps it in, not quite, and that'll fall out for a goal kick.
Shot block from Teddy Kadisha. Already on the line. Defence from him. Eventually, as we see Walter driving around them here.
A free kick's been given as I look at the small screen.
Something's happened. Showing replay. So
it's about the point where Alex Walter had his heavy touch to get to the byline, so maybe a shirt pull or a bit of interference there, which Tony Pert's gone back to, and it's really in Adam Gorry territory here as he lines up this free kick near post. Actually cleared by Young. All 11 back for the Knights, so plenty of time for the Archer to compose himself. Back to Gorry. I think all 4 of those South Hobart players were offside.
Seemed that way. The Souths at times he's run well, but there are a couple certainly well offside. And it's been the balls over the top that have caused both teams the most problem. And yeah, it's miles off. Certainly miles off there is old Gilly. Yeah, both teams have had a little bit of success with the little dinks over the top.
Maybe a few more teams looking at playing a higher line this year than previous. We've had a few teams do that, especially Marcage's Zebras last year, really play that high line, but eventually that runs for the first half and then everyone tends to drop a bit deeper and deeper as it goes into the second, so a slight tactical shift here in the NPL Tas this season.
Interesting to see the strategy James Sherman adopts, the Sherman tank taking charge of the Knights this year after Franco Providi, of course, job in the championship, so it's the Sherman show now, and see how he does.
Those playing at home, the amount of time until we said Marcage bingo was 25 minutes. Everyone who played 25, well done.
I had under 20, so I'm a bit disappointed in your pool as this one's Ultra battling away with a couple of fullbacks. Smashing it out of there. Over the head of the Archer. And everyone back deep for the Knights. So Rasmus had plenty of time to Bowman. Now, middle here. M squared. He's just going to smash this one from range. Well, he's not short on confidence, but he lacked direction, unfortunately, with that one. Way over the top. Just skying that one.
Just trying to see that Glenorchy Knights player is down on the far side of the pitch. Oh, absolutely. Nowhere in particular. I was hoping they've rolled out with players, so not to be causing offside. I think they have managed that. Probably Graham, I think throwing Heggie actually. Back to his feet, which is good to see. We already had one substitution in the first 27 minutes. Rosenall launched this one long. It might just be interesting when Sherman watches this one back, putting all 11 back, maybe just to keep Jakey Stewart on the last defender, a la what he was doing at Clarence in the last few seasons. Still giving him a little better service than he received there, but he played that role particularly well last season as Walter knocks it back. Oh, misplaced pass from Gorry, lets in Brown, gets on the right peg. Good saving challenge there from the Archer, and then throws in the look-away pass for good measure. That was Bowman.
Great defending there from Bowman on the Brown was in, but great recovering challenge. Slid out to it. Those ones you absolutely have to get spot on or it's trouble, but all perfectly. Great recovery from the Archer. Well, that's just sniffing about a second. Putting a little nudge there was Young, but maintained his balance. Dinked it up to Bellini. Bellini zest there by M squared. Now it's to Sousa. That one was shut down. Shots for handball. Luke Farrell lifting it over, but no one had made the run. Signal together again.
You'd usually see Adam Gorry bursting down there, but I think he's straight in an offside position and just held his run there for the moment. Rosnell launches that one to halfway over the head of Brown, easily cleared by the Archer. Bowman with a heavy touch. Brown just scoops it over him. Studs were showing eventually there from Bowman, and then ups an ankle tap afterwards, so that'll help relieve the pressure on South Hobart, who haven't had a whole lot of chances in this game. Well, these clear-cut ones against this Knights defence. Heavy touch again from Farrell. Brown afraid to leave a foot in. Is Declan Brown.
I don't know if it's purely a result of wanting a good positive result after losing to Kingborough on the weekend, but Knights do seem a little more up for it than South Hobart at the moment. Just a little more zip in them, getting to balls first. They look like they want a little bit more, and at the moment they're winning the 50-50 duels against South Hobart. Overly fast. Just knocking the ball around. So they're applying some good pressure with their pressing game, the Knights. They've turned it back over again here, and it's James sliding it through for the dangerous Jake Stewart, who's got plenty of space. He pulls the trigger across the face. It's a tap in if he's onside. And the reaction suggests to me that the flag has gone straight up.
Yeah, even I had my hand raised for that one here, and we not quite in line with the ref's decision, but he did look a couple of outs offside. Did Nick Naden. Good awareness though from Jake Stewart. He wouldn't put past most strikers to have a pop when in that position. Good signs again from Knights as we tick past the half hour. There's him squared on the ball. Get it back to the Warthog. The ball down the line to Havainen. Couple options in the box, but looks for the byline again. A heavy touch from the fullback. And smart defending as well from Jack Kupsch. I think as soon as saw that touch in front of me, thought I'm not going to bother sticking a leg out or do anything here unnecessary.
Well, doing the job for him there. Positive intent, but far too heavy a touch there from the youngster. Got a couple of seasons worth of experience now under his belt, despite his relative youth, and the acquisition on the South Hobart side with Schmidt going down with a broken leg. They can need that additional fullback option. They're well equipped to step in for him, I think.
Yeah, I thought he's one of the standout performers for Kingborough last season, especially in some of those home games, constantly bombing down the right wing of Lightwood Park. As South looking to break, it's Morton to Walter. They've got a man over here if you want to use it. Walter again. Great sliding challenge again, Teddy Kadisha. That's 2 in half hour.
He's playing a fine game, Teddy Kadisha. Perfectly timed challenges. I thought Walter had done him for pace, but slides in on the block to perfection. A very strong performance from the Teddy Bear so far.
Came over tonight's last season from the Zebras to the Teddy Bear. Putting in a strong showing so far in this game. As with other seasons, South looking to play through Adam Gorry a lot. I've called his name a fair bit so far. Got it again to Farrell. To Souza. Go down the line to Walter. Just trying to use his body on Tom Young. 50-50. Keeps it in. Hamlet takes a touch. Looks to turn and shoot. Ben Hamlet.
Oh. The flag was up.
And only just realising now.
That's Walter not happy. The flag was up before he beat the man and shot the goal. It was a slightly delayed flag, but it definitely went up. There's absolutely no doubt about it. We're having to replay the argument here at the moment of the action, but yeah, look, a very nicely taken finish from Hammer Time there. The turn, but nothing, unfortunately.
Good striker's instinct on show there from Ben Hamlet. Fortunately, his flag had been raised earlier. It's a good distance on the kick there from Larosinal. Rasmus Phillipson heaving that one forward. Tom Young using his body well. Oh, it's Walter. I think Tony Pertz actually paid the free kick for that one. I didn't think there was much wrong with that. So we have a look at the replay and good view. They are really leaning down, and as we can see, signalling for a goal kick pretty early there before Ben Hamlet had touched the ball. What I thought was 50-50 challenge, judged by Tony to be a foul. Gorry gets a bit more air under this one, looking for Phillipson. Falls into the box. D'Souza shanks it into the hip of Nick Morton. Absolutely no idea about that one, did the Morthog, and it rolls out for a goal kick.
Souza would have claimed the assist and then a ricocheted off of Morton, flown in. And the rebound shot, but didn't know too much about it there, the Morthog. We spoke over the Rossignol's distribution earlier, but not on this occasion. That was a poor one. Able to pick out his man through the middle off the hook, but pass there from the keeper as Morton and D'Souza looking to combine again. Away goes Jake Stewart towards Nick Naden. Playing Naden as that one somehow stays in, and now Luke Farrell pops it over the top, and well done, keeper. The offside flag had been raised though. Now, over that one, but good awareness from the keeper to come charging out.
Yeah. Just good amount off his line, not on his heels on the goal line there, Larosinal. Just on South Hobart. They'll obviously be in the title hunt this year. Got any others you think are going to be in the title hunt this year, calling? Obviously Devonport will probably be one, and then Olympia have been really strong in pre-season so far, judging by the results.
Yeah, look, I think certainly it's a bit disappointed. I was up in Devonport on the weekend for SAP Festival, and they were going to have an intra-club on the Saturday night, but couldn't pull it off, unfortunately. Would have liked to have a bit of a look at that one, see how it's all going. But no, look, they're quietly confident as ever up in Devonport, speaking with them on the weekend. Speaking glowingly of the job new coach Rick Coughlin was doing up there, and there'll be a force again, but obviously, you know, some step back will probably be a little bit expected when you lose the likes of Holden and Mann, some of those key players from last season. Daniel Syson a good get for them, but yeah, going to be tough to replace those goals. But I think we're there and abouts, and Zebras and Olympia are probably the other two I can see contending. I probably think one of those four will be the winners, based on what I've seen so far. Knights will give plenty of trouble to those teams, and they can beat them, but I don't know if their first season back they're quite going to be competing for the title just yet. They'll be slightly different, just the week to week having to play a really good team every week. It's one thing to get up for them in the cup, it's another thing for it to be the routine, but I think they'll be a good side. But no, I think they're probably the four that you'd imagine the title comes from.
Yeah, personally probably agree with that. I haven't seen Olympia so far this pre-season, or Devonport. You go and see Kingborough Riverside a few weeks ago, mainly because I'd never seen Riverside play before. And wanted to get a feel for what they're about this season. Kingborough had a few impressive moments in that game as well. They're quietly confident of an improved season and finally getting away that sort of 6th, 7th, sometimes 5th position they tend to be in every season. They're looking to push on. New coach Greg Calvert as well.
So many new managers, obviously, makes it very interesting too.
It's only Ken that's the same, isn't it, this season?
Yeah, it's been a remarkable turnover.
They make the English Championship look like perfect job security here.
Yeah, just about. Although, perhaps unsurprising after a season where there were no in-season firings all last year, which for the NPL Tasmania was just extraordinarily off-brand. But it righted course in the off-season and went back in the direction we're used to seeing.
Yeah, instead of staggering it, they just had a Black Monday NFL style of just everyone in September.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works out. And obviously with a couple of new teams coming in as well, as this one's worked in the direction of Hamlet. She wins the header down, and Thomas Young again on top of it. Goal scorer. Flipping into the middle. Brown. The ankle there of Jake Stewart. Morton coming in for a little shoulder-on-shoulder action there.
I was more going to say how fast Jake Stewart is there. I think Morton had a bit of distance on him and well and truly caught up. Just about overtaken as Morton seems to be sucking in the big ones after that challenge. As D'Souza has a nice touch. Manages to try and get the ball to M squared. Like there, and a lovely through ball. Naden's on side here and right. Manages to get out quickly enough. He wasn't far away there, Nick Naden. Good ball again. And Tom Young. Walter on the far side. And Gorry. Oh, we lucky to win the foul there was M squared because the Milwaukee Knights were on there. Gorry had made an inside run and there was no one at right back there at that particular moment. Gorry looks with Bowman. Just sizing up where to go. He just about gets it to Havainen. What can he do with it? Goes for the low ball. Kadisha, not the most convincing of clearances. And in the end, it's Samuel James knocking that one out of play.
That's the life of the defender for you right there, Teddy Kadisha. He's been brilliant for 39 minutes, but if there was a striker behind him there, he's cost them a goal. So it can change in the blink of an eye your fortunes. But got away with that one in the end.
Yeah, previously, in previous seasons at South Hope, that's right about where Kobe Kemp would usually be.
Ghosting into the box.
Or Jack Turner as well was the other one I was trying to think of, who wanted to occupy that spot for South Hobart. To reset through Phillipson. Graham Wright heaving that one down the line. Morton's a few yards offside, but waves Havainen on. Causing Hooks to come across and clear. Good start to Hamlet, who unfortunately fell over the ball, but works well. Morton gets past one. And get past another. Kadisha just about clears it. And D'Souza, pinball going on here, and in the end he just tries to whack that into what seemed like Wellington Street. Morton can't quite beat the defender, and a bit of calm restoring to this game after a minute of, I think I saw a completed pass there.
Agriculture, wasn't it? There's Havainen. Now in duties here. Really presenting an option. Actually, Morton does so. Tried the return pass. Right hook out, but they'll get a second go at it here. Alex Walter. We'll draw them deep. Steady lob to go back to Feral TV there. Kadisha away. South Hobart at the back. Erasmus. The Archer. Phillipson. Get forward there. Broken up, nicely defended. I think that was Young. Crucial intervention. Knights now looking to transition back the other way. Phillipson was there to cut it out. Look for Earl. He's going to hit his ball for the Danish centre half. He's going to go back and collect. Edge towards the half-time break here. 1-0 in favour of Glenorchy Knights, and probably a fair reflection on the first half, in my opinion, Paul.
Yeah, I'd completely agree with that, as Morton now looking to right that issue, but again can't get past Teddy Kadisha. Doesn't even concede the corner there. He's done well. Again has the centre half. Morton with a near foul throw. Just about legal as he looked to whip it in the box, goes near post. Actually cleared from the Knights. I do think it is a fair reflection on the match so far. South really have going to play a bit more on the deck than Knights, but then they've just been playing a few balls like that as well. Just uncharacteristic of this usually well-oiled South machine. Also noticing it's Dogger Brown, Slice of Cheese favourite, barking out the instructions down on the sideline here this afternoon.
Quite animated, isn't he, big Dogger?
Really getting some airplane type arm movements going on there in that last minute.
He's no longer on the pitch, he's still barking out the orders. Positioning more into the coaching side of things. It's Dan Brown. Just a couple of minutes now left for the break. Flicked on by De Souza. But coming through, and that might turn into an alright ball if it's not handball. Play on allowed. Alex Walter slides it through for the overlapping Gorry. They're lining up in the middle. Gorry puts it in there, and it's an own goal, I think, in the end. Kadisha, it's come off last. It's 1-1, and they're back on terms just before half time.
Oh, I've been singing Teddy Kadisha's praises all game so far. He's been just about the best person on the park and just sprinting back at that awkward height. There is a player right there, and just off the outside of the right foot, right into the centre of the net from the Knights centre-back. A really good game, Kadisha. Unfortunately puts that one in his own net. And just the first time Adam Gorry's really got that overlapping run where Walter holds it up and then he curves around right on the wing and then looks to centre it. That's how they've scored plenty of their goals in NPL history, South Hobart, and it's like more of the same. That combination still on the right-hand side.
Create space for him, don't they? Wing their forward tuck in, open up that space down the right wing and just bombs into it. Such an effective weapon. Really amongst the leaders in the assist charts the last couple of years has been Adam Gorry, and this is something for Hammer Time Hamlet to chase after. Awesome Yale just there in advance. Stewart competing against Bowman, falls the way of Toby Havain, and heavy touch though. Showed far too much of it to Kupsch. Morton competing with Kadisha, spills out the back, Hamlet charging through. Brings terrific energy as Hammer Time Hamlet. The free kick has been spotted here for South, so a chance just before the break. Throwing up the pressure here at the moment, South. Starting to find their feet and get a bit of rhythm in this game.
It is in keeping with South Hobart always running out the end of halves exceptionally well. Maybe they're slightly fitter than the rest again, as they have been in previous seasons, as Morton into the near post, easily cleared from the first defender. He'll get another chance to launch it in. Kadisha this time leaves it away. And there's Adam Gorry with a good touch to pluck that out of the sky, but then as good a ball forward. Rossendale will come out and collect in front of Hammer Time. Tick into stoppage time here in the first half. Searching for his teammate on the far side. Just away from the outstretched head, so Gorry will throw it back in. With a line to M squared. Cleared by Graham. They're looking at the watch and will assume, judging by their character, that they've blown for half time.
Oh, indeed, so that is half time. There at Darcy Street as we bring this to you from the comfort of Ash's living room. But an interesting first 45 here in this pre-season hit-out. The Knights started the brighter. Got the go-ahead goal. Put about a second one. Nick Naden coming in the whisker. Probably deserved perhaps to be ahead at the half, but South Hobart, as they so often do, sticking it out and pulling one back before the half. And there is that new Glenorchy Knights logo. What are your thoughts on the new logo there, Paul?
Oh, I do love that logo. It's nice and sleek with the heritage in the middle. And nice new rebrand there from Glenorchy Knights. I'm all about that. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've done a great job with that. The committee over there at Knights, I think It's a fantastic looking logo. Proper footballing club look that is, and yeah, great job to all. It's always a risky areas when you go with the rebranding new logos, but they've done a fantastic job.
I think we're 2 from 2 in Tasmania in the last little while. Ulverston's logo I'm not a bad fan of as well, especially when you put it on that purple kit. It really stands out well. So we're doing well here in rebranding here in Tassie.
Absolutely. So we'll be back in around about 10 minutes time or so with the second half of this pre-season fixture here at Darcy Street as we just experiment and get things ready for the new season. Just 9 days away. Half time at South Hobart 1, Glenorchy Knights 1.
Thanks for doing all this.
Yeah, I'm doing it actually with Andrew and thing. They're just listening in the system so they can see that one have a BNP, so now I'm here, you know.
You're doing the work. And you're just, oh.
No, just consistent because this is all what I've done. Just loads into internet. How is Hugo?
It's alright. He's going to be here tonight, but he's in the studio doing music.
She was saying the other day, and then we would like to go to his his music to be played, you know, during the games, like half time.
Oh, okay. I'll tell him. Every start, every run. It's got a single launch on Sunday. Coming Sunday at Minister Payne. I just got myself a small HD monitor. I've got a Sony FX5. That's beautiful.
What do you use it for?
Camera monitor. That's amazing. Is this the same? This one? Oh, Canon.
We have actually got new round, bigger round.
Showing a great burst of pace, robs the keeper. Nick Naden is at 2-0 though. A glorious chance goes back.
Getting the block in. It's M squared. Looking out for Walter. Walter looking to go to the byline, and he does. Just about keeps it in, not quite, and that'll fall out for a goal kick. 11 back for the Knights, so plenty of time for the Archer to compose himself. Back to Gorry. I think all 4 of those South Hobart players were offside.
Seemed that way.
Really well last season as Walter looks it back. Ooh, misplaced pass from Gorry, lets in Brown, gets on the right peg. Good saving challenge there from the Archer, and then throws in the look-away pass for good measure. That was Bowman. Bowman with a heavy touch. Brown just scoops it over him. Studs were showing eventually there from Bowman, and then it's an ankle tap up.
Turned it back over again here. It's James sliding it through for the dangerous Jake Stewart, who's got plenty of space. He pulls the trigger across the face. It's a tap in if he's onside. The reaction suggests to me that the flag has gone straight up.
South looking to break. It's Morton to Walter. They've got a man over here if you want to use it. Walter again. Great sliding challenge again. Teddy Kadisha for Walter. Just trying to use his body on Tom Young. 50-50. Keeps it in. Hamlet takes a touch. Looks to turn and shoot. Ben Hamlet. Oh.
The flag was up.
And only just realising now.
Walter not happy. The flag was up before. Flag was up before he beat the man and shot the goal.
It's a bit more air under this one. Looking for Phillipson. Balls into the box. D'Souza shanks it into the hip of Nick Morton.
Great night, but pulled off unfortunately. We'd like to have a bit of a look at that one. See how it's all going. No, look, they're quietly confident as ever up in Devonport's. Morton going in for a little shoulder-on-shoulder action there.
I was more going to say how fast Jake Stewart is there. I think Morton had a bit of distance on him.
Handball, play on allowed. Alex Walter slides it through for the overlapping Gorry. They're lining up in the middle. Gorry puts it in there, and it's an own goal, I think, in the end. Kadisha, it's come off last. It's 1-1, and they're back on terms. Jasper Morton competing with Kadisha. Spills out the back. Hamlet charging through. It's terrific energy. There's hammer time, Hamlet.
Unless I put it on my headphones this way. Sorry? You want me to try to do that stuff? But I before stuff up the... What? I'll try. Have a look. Yeah, I can hear you, yeah. Yeah, I just showed you. Yeah. I didn't switch to a system, I just did it on the phone. But, no, okay.
Your purple top there, mate. Your purple top.
So, do you want me to do this one? Do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't want to go and disturb their peace. That's the last thing they wanted to do was see me while I was having their break.
Continues to tune up for the new season, not too far away. Some positive signs, and have rust and scrappiness at times as well in the first 45. Does the second 45 have in store for us? De Souza and Morton standing over it. Tony Bett ready to get us back underway. We're off with the Morton dinking one there with the top. Held away by Graham. Nick Morton. Hamlet flicking on. Kadisha was there. So Young, who takes a bit of a tumble. Get the free kick. Reese Troubles.
Tony Pert dishing out the talkings too, even in pre-season. Seems like there's been a few subs here at half-time. He's certainly not Trent Rosnell in goal anymore.
And Graham Wright's on the bench there, so I suspect Kieran Brown is probably at the other end too. Once we reach that far.
Dimitri Nesta being Knights' substitute goalkeeper.
Some keeping depth on both, really. Jimmy Nesta and Kieran Brown off the bench, you're doing all right.
Absolutely, I think it was Nesta that played most of the Southern Championship last season as the starter. Gorry, take a lot to get him to be subbed off in any circumstance. South Hobart's favourite ranger, despite the fact he has a challenger this year for that title. Surely due to longevity, he'll still win out.
He's got the head start, doesn't he?
He's got a few years on Rasmus.
A couple of years, and a fairly meaningful contribution in those 2 years as well. Adam Gorry establishing himself as one of the best fullbacks in at the state. Water stretching for this one. Able to get it. Line. And Heggie there. That's me with Olivier Giroux. Times with that hairstyle on the number 9, Ryan Heggie. This one. It's cleverly off of Nick Naden. Ludford, was that? Yeah, another change. It's a bit like you. Seen a few switches at half-time, both these sides.
South Hobart have made a few. It's definitely the Warhorse Hugh Ludford standing in the 18-yard box at the moment. Gorry's beaten out to it by Brown. Just about gets it back, but pretty much 4-on-1 there from Adam Gorry. Didn't have much chance.
Battling away there as Morton takes it further afield. Couldn't quite bring it under his spell. Here's reliable veteran presence, Dimmy Nesta. The sticks. The Knights in the second half. Nick Naden turning. Playing a lovely little ball to open things up. Awareness shown though. Will be broken up. Farrell driving it forward only as far as James, who lofts it down the line for Nick Naden. A few bombing on in support, but rather underwhelming cross in the end there from Naden. Just easily clipping it straight to the keeper. Need to pull it back to the top of the box there as Kieran Brown looks to play up.
Finds the Warhorse, Hugh Ludford. Looking down the line, there's clearly a substitution made by South Hobart. Morton now looking for Gorry, stays onside, but can't quite get his touch right. Off the head, and that one's out for a throw-in. Good urgency there from Graham. Calling for Brown to get on. No foul there. I thought the Warthog there was certainly committed a foul there. Trying to get play Brown in for a throw-in. Good urgency behind there after the long throw. Graham calling for Brown to get the ball. Yeah, he has. No foul there. One of those ones. Tony Pert's a lot closer to the action than I am, so I'll trust his word.
Are we even in the same postcode? I'm not sure. I think so.
I think we are.
There we are. Okay, we're not too far away then.
Same electoral division, that's about my maximum boundary.
Yeah, division of Wilkie, they renamed it, didn't they?
Something like that.
think he got renamed. Pretty sure that was the name they went for. He's a great supporter of football, that man.
Oh, fantastic news in the last few months. KGV and Darcy Street getting some much needed upgrades, as that's a good long raking ball in the Moreton direction. Looks to hit it first time and coming across. There is Glenorchy Knights' goal scorer, Tom Young. Getting some inspiration on sliding defending from his counterpart, Kadisha.
Very composed out there today, Young. Big part of this Knights side this year is he has to deal with one here. They headed away, holding it forwards in the Moreton direction. Second bite at it, but Bellini came on through. Looks it towards Naden, Ludford. To Sousa, Kadisha decisively wins it though. Counter attack might be on here as this one's played, but nobody up there for Young. Jack Stewart flying out after it, trying to give him something. There you go, but again, broken up. Seems she's struggling to keep a hold of the ball at the moment. Quite direct football, but particularly effective football.
Yeah, getting a bit like a tennis match there for the fans in the stand, constantly looking left and right as Kieran Brown rolls it out to Phillipson. Brown searching out wide. Couldn't quite control that one. South Hobart substitution, which finally turned around, so I can tell you that is now. You're going to have to help with the pronunciation of Sam.
Oh, Sam Berezinski, is it?
Thank you kindly. Got reach.
Berezinski, I think.
Challenging well.
Promising young player. One of the righty young prospects in the States, Sam Berezinski. South Hobart have done quite well to lure him across.
If that's the case, I'll be thinking of a nickname for him, ASAP.
Yes. From Newtown Eagles, I think he came from. That's right. It's one of the championship sides, and yeah, South Hobart have got him across, but a player of real promise. So he's one to keep an eye on over this season and moving forwards.
Based on nothing but last name of origin, that would seem logical.
Yeah, don't know if that's why I think it, but no, I'm pretty sure he's over at Newtown. So, involved in the youth state programs, and certainly a name I've heard a bit. This one's chipped in towards Alex Walter. Getting to Sousa, tried to nod further afield there. Quite pick him out. Bowman breaking it up at the back. Then quickly turned over, Nick Naden. Slides it through for Jake Stewart. He's got the Rasmus to beat. Thinks his chances, so just fired it into him. Stays in play. Naden now arriving. Instead he goes low, and Brown directing it wide of the mark. The stretch. Clever ball. But, couldn't quite finish off there, Brown. His weight going the other way. It was a tough one for him.
I thought initially he managed to split his two attackers in there and was going to roll harmlessly wide, but he curled it right in the path of Declan Brown, and Moreton on there, but Jimmy Nestor will pick that one up nice and easily. Yeah, just had his body motion working backwards, Declan Brown's not the easiest of opportunities for him there. Nestor heaves that one long. And Knights looking to play pretty direct here, using the pace of Naden and Stewart, giving Warhorse Hugh Ludford a few sprint tests here this afternoon. Unintentional shoulder control there from DJ Heggie. Brown looking a South Hobart sandwich and will fall to Kieran Brown. Moves it out to Phillipson. Back to Brown. Looking for Havainen. Berezinski showing good use of strength there. Sousa. Back to Berezinski. Teddy Kadisha. Tom Young getting each other's way there quite comically, and eventually cooler heads prevail and Nestor will clear. Bit of a late challenge there on D'Souza.
That was a great one.
Probably a slice of cheese in a normal game, I'd suggest.
Might get a bit of leniency due to the pre-season, but that was late.
No, he just gave it Tony Pert.
Probably fair enough to look at the replay. don't care pre-season or not, you don't want players going in like that after the ball's gone.
Yeah, probably a bit of player protection reason for that yellow card there.
Questions have been posed, what happens with yellow cards in pre-season games, and the answer is absolutely nothing. Red cards can carry over into the regular season, but not yellows, so no accumulation issues there. As many as you want. Nice answer that should be in the regular season anyway, but I like the dark arts of football. So this one's worked forward, and Ludford play back to Kieran Brown.
I don't mind every 5 you get a 1-game ban, but when it's 2 games after 8, that drives me insane.
Yeah, not a fan.
That part drives me insane.
This one's directed there by James, and forces the South Hobart feet. Here's a chance for Walter. Tried to sneak into the near post, and Dimmy Nesta just getting a piece of it. Sends it wide. Hobart with a nice move here. Dimmy Nesta closing it down well.
Yeah, good save there from Dimmy Nesta. Almost more of a futsal type save there from the goalkeeper, just sticking the legs out and getting all angles covered. A good shot stopper from close range is Nesta. South Hobart going to make something happen from this corner. Going towards the centre, nearly headed in from Killy D'Souza. I think that's a goal kick, shows how much of a clear-cut chance that was for South Hobart, I think.
Great corner, really put into a dangerous position. Keeper opting not to come. Just over the Rasmus.
I don't think he thought it was going to come to him. I think between Rasmus and the accompanying defender, I thought he might have thought that just wasn't going to come to him.
Probably right, would have seen it very late too. It's a fair leap from Rasmus Phillipson there. He got up, and here's a chance as this one's not over the top for Hamlet. He's in on goal. Benny Hamlet to make it 2-1. Great recovery, Thomas Young. Danger's still not quite past. They'll play it out of there, but Tommy Young having himself a game, the goal scorer for Knights, and he saved one there at the other end, and the break might be on the other way as DJ Higgy goes up against DeSouza. And his ball unable to pick out Jake Stewart. It's a big chance at the other end there for South Hobart. So easily be 2-1. Going again over the top for Morton. And Young barging into Nick Morton, and a bit too forcefully for the assistant's liking. Kick line.
Yeah, I'm going to assume it's the amount of force he's gone in with there, Tom Young, because it was pretty much shoulder to shoulder. He wasn't making too much of a legitimate attempt on the ball, more at Morton's shoulder, so it probably swayed the referee there. Now, South Hobart with another set-piece opportunity, and after that last one, I'd be looking for the head. The new Danish import, Phillipson. Norrie looks to have taken over pretty much all set-piece duties with the departure of Kobe Kemp. Every player back again for the Knights. Tony Pert looked like he wanted to join in there as Gorrie gets a lot of air underneath that one towards the back post, knocked back in. Nesta kind of fluffs at it and has about 6 goes, but turns out it was out of play. Quite the delivery we saw before there from South Hobart's favourite ranger.
We want a little bit more from there. Something that will miss with Kobe Kemp's absence. So we saw the impact he had last year when he returned from injury. Key man over the dead ball. On the move across to Victoria, as so many of our talented young players do, really. It's kind of the pathway these days, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. You have that couple of good consistent seasons in NPL Tas and then move over to NPL Victoria. And I mean, if it's worked for Andy Brennan to then take the next step to the A-League, I can't see why it can't work for players like Kobe Kemp and obviously Braden Mann making the move over this year as well. Obviously, like to end up one day having NPL Tas as a direct feeder to the A-League. I think in a realistic terms, anytime soon, it's a good stepping stone for our players here.
Perfect as that league, really. And I think talking to the international imports that come in, it's a good chance for them to come down here, come to a new country, get some exposure here, and really use it as a launch pad for their careers. And so what it can be, there's always eyes on games these days. And a good season in NPL Tasmania. certainly plenty of scouts and eyes watching this league, so
Yeah.
opportunity there.
Joey Zupo and Nicky G are the two that immediately come to mind as not quite going to Vic or New South Wales, but one certainly playing a key role in NPL Queensland, and then Nicky G getting more exposure in the FFA Cup for the New South Wales. I think it is a really good option for our players here, and we do wish them all the best as much as we'd like to see them week in, week out. So look for
As much as we'd love to see that, we'd love to see a few more Tasmanians with Nathaniel and Josh, etc. in the A-League. That's something we'd like to see even more. Youngsters going over there and succeeding. So, best to Kobe and those others who made the move this off-season.
Absolutely, and two of the three players we've got in the A-League in the moment, with Chuzak being the third. Quite counted yet, because he hasn't played a minute yet, unfortunately. He's got more substitute bench appearances than I can count. And we see the overlapping run from Berezinski, trying to get on the left peg. He's got Kadisha for company and manages, I think, to win the corner, or he's just toe poked it out of play, and it looks to be option B. There from the youngster. South Hobart getting Antonio Saraceno over to Sydney FC's academy last season, being another one coming through that similar pipeline to Hope and Atkinson. Well, did feel a bit guilty booing Josh Hope scoring a few months ago in November when he put a clincher last by Mariners, and the most depressing excuse for spending $300 in the history of existence. Only slightly softened by the fact he was Tasmanian. It was Walter beaten in the air.
So there's some commitment to be travelling to watch the Mariners this year, Funty. That is real commitment. That's a proper fan right there, I tell you.
Yeah, I heard every single one of those overpriced Amy Park GNTs that day, believe me. That one's gone out to Adam Gorry. Yeah, gets the return ball. Morton leaves it for him. Walter looking to make that run. He's got in between the defenders, plays it to the back post, but Hamlet had gone near. It's Berezinski now. Out to M squared, looking for D'Souza. Shank clearance from Kadisha. Hamlet will chase it down, and he's at first time. He's got the talent to do that, does Benny Hamlet, but it's a bit too much air under that one.
Too much of it. He's made superb contact with this ball. He's absolutely smoked it. It's two directly over the top in the end, but very difficult one on the not preferred. Yeah, for Ben 10. Quite finish her off. So Ken Morton very happy to have Hamlet back in the fold up top this year, and Alex Lazinski as fit as I've seen him in a number of years too, so they're going to have some real weapons in attack this year, South.
I was curious to see how long Nick Morton as a central number 9 would last. I'd still, in my pecking order, have Lazinski and Hamlet there in that position, and just have Morton driving through from a sort of a number 8, number 10 role. I think that's perfect for him. He's got the work rate for it and the talent to smack them from 25 out as we saw a lot last year.
Got the engine to be that box-to-box midfielder, and I did like his combination with this man, Gilly D'Souza, in the game for Hakeem. It was absolutely fantastic, and here is D'Souza working at 2. Morton, there's that combo! But he couldn't quite do it for me there, Morton, and puts it wide of the mark. But the combination of those two being very large indeed. Again, a sharp chance this one, much like the Hamlet one. Just snatching at it wide.
And probably a little more time there to wait for that to come down and just hit a bit more of a conventional volley there, Morton, but elected to take it as quickly as possible and quite get the purchase on it. Unlike the first half, I've got to say South Hobart have certainly had the balance of play overnight since the second half commenced, and there's Walter winning the header. Onside is Benny Hamlet. He's got the motor to chase down everything. Esther comes out and claims that one. Roger Brown, though, still not terribly happy on the bench there, seeing him jump up and down at the bottom of our screen as Ludford looks to play it forward. And intercepted by Kupch. Now, real excited for Norky Knight's attack, and it's in the centre of the box for Higgy, and just couldn't quite get it to sit for him. With the Knights player. Looking for the foul. Actually won that well, and that's actually Rowan Heggie winning that foul.
He's handled his body well and waited for the contact. Smart play.
Did see an interesting tweet on that the other week about how the best midfielders are the ones that know how to win the cheapest free kicks like that, a la Scholes, Perlow, always using their body to win those little niggly fouls in the back. Very 2 and 2 that I'd never put together.
Yeah, it's just keep possession of the ball, don't you, if you win a free kick. And obviously, angling the body is the key with that. There's a line between doing that and just outright simulation. You've obviously got to actually draw the contact, so there is a point of difference there. But yeah, the best midfielders, things ticking over, nowhere to be at all times. Similar type role with Morton in the South Hobart midfield, just always on hand to receive the ball and it's good at drawing the fouls.
Yes, to delve into the deep dark depths of South Hobart Oval to retrieve that one. And see Dogger Brown, I don't think I've seen him sit down in 65 minutes so far here. I'm hoping for more of that animation throughout the season. I can see that being a real focal point. We did have Marquez Cam going temporarily for a bit last year. Might have to have Dogger Brown Cam. He keeps up this effort.
Just as entertaining off the field as he has been on the field down the years. One of my favourites, of course, Dogger Brown, Grand Master of the dark arts himself.
Just noticing the wind picking up at South Hobart Oval as well. The R's flagging those trees. Really blowing a bit. Looks like it's going as it always does off Mount Wellington and to the right of screen.
Yeah, probably another reason why we're seeing South Hobart, I suppose, controlling a bit more of the game in the second half. Win factor.
I thought you were going to say another reason why we're sitting inside.
Well, that too. It's also probably why we've not noticed it too much, the impact it's had on the contest. Much more noticeable from the stand is Morton with a raking ball. That's a beauty, straight to Adam Gorry. Gorry sliding it through, and that's good defence again from Thomas Young. It's just going to be one of those smooth goals. One pass, two, bang, but Young tracking the run well. And has not put a foot wrong in defence really today, Thomas Young.
No, he hasn't. I've seen a bit more of him previous than I have. Has he always been a centre-back?
I mean, I've watched him.
A centre-mid?
Yeah, I've seen him be a utility type player from what I've heard. But yeah, looks like he's slotting in centre half here and quite accomplished in that role. It's to Sousa, to Walter, to Gorry. Gorry's crossed the charge down and again behind for a corner. Hobart just turning the screws here at the moment.
First lost ball of the season here at South Hobart Oval as well.
They don't lose too many. A bit of a supply shortage of the NPL balls at the moment.
Now, here's one we'll have to go door knocking for at a later date.
Hopefully it doesn't quite come to that. And Gorry sends this one to the back stick over all comers. To Rasmus Philipson. Razanski just charged down nicely and it falls away of Declan Brown. Controlled it and couldn't quite sit there for Jake Stewart, who was storming through the middle. Oh, they've turned it over. Back to Stewart. Here's a chance. Though he's about 8 yards offside at this point, is Declan Brown, so wouldn't have mattered too much. Now it's South Hobart who look to turn defence into attack in the blink of an eye. Tough one here though. Gadisha gets across to deal with it.
Yeah, chalk that promising Knights moment up as just pre-season things there, just automatically looking for the pass, whereas Jakey Stewart probably could have taken it and dribbled it himself after the length of the field with his pace. Morton now looking to whip it in. A lot of height on it. Alex Walter sticking a leg out, but we'll roll out for a goal kick. A huge amount again of absolute clear-cut chances here by either side in the second half. It's been very much both teams looking for searching balls over the top or trying to get in between either side of the fullbacks. That one will hold up in the wind and Walter gets up, so does Farrell and Gilly D'Souza. It's clear again, but no one on the last defender for the Knights. Brown will come out and collect comfortably to Philipson. Long raking ball over the head of young Nesta, comes out, gets there just in front of Gilly D'Souza. Good pace.
Sharp wheels.
Yeah.
That is like a two. He flew out that one. Very complete midfielder.
We about to say complete goalkeeper of Dimitri Nesta then, which he is.
He's a fine goalkeeper. Nesta.
Just didn't know he had that pace in his arsenal.
DJ Higgy will be the target of this throw, but Walter is him in the air. And this one fall eventually to Walter. Salza with a quick layoff to him. He's got Gorry riding shotgun. He heads that way. Once again, Young across. I don't think he's got the decision he was after there. In this case, it's going to be another corner for South Hobart. Not keeping the stats, but they're certainly mounting. Gorry sends it in again, this time near post. A massive bodies there for Knights, and Kadisha able to smash it out. Holds up in the wind, gives Declan Brown a bit of a chance though. Stewart just held off it there by the wily Frenchman Luke Farrell. Declan Brown to the head of Gorry. Looks it forward yet again, and then that's just going to bounce straight off the shin of Hamlet. And out for a nice throw on halfway as we've ticked past 70 minutes now, and some more substitute action as Oscar Thomas wearing the number 9. I'm not having that.
Well, if so, it's a disgrace to numbering. Darcy Hall.
No. Darcy Hall's not that tough.
No.
No. Well, he might have shot up in the last 2 years, I don't know, but that looked a lot more like Oscar Thomas than what we've got in our team sheet. They look very giraffe-like.
Oh, we'll have to... That is way too lanky.
That's Darcy Hall, I'll eat my hat. I think our team sheet's lying. I'm pretty confident that's Oscar Thomas.
And now that I've seen that heading action and how much his neck just stuck out, that is definitely the giraffe Oscar Thomas.
Well, I don't mind stitch-ups on the team sheet when they're that obvious. You can give us the wrong information as long as it's really obvious.
Yeah, give us a false number of a player we've never heard of, and that's fine, but we know the difference between Oscar Thomas and Darcy Hall up here at Slice of Cheese. Don't you worry, South Hobart.
He's just slotted in there with Darcy Hall, another one to come back into the side this year, and American import on the way. They're a fearsome squad again, South. And
just trying to think who you dropped from this lineup. I didn't think there was anything terribly wrong with their starting 11 tonight.
Yeah, you got the likes of Thomas, Zinski, Hall, plenty of options to come in here. They can have great depth. Knights have got a fair bit of depth themselves they've assembled. They've got a few players out tonight who slide into their best 11. Pushed South Hobart pretty well. I think good signs on the Knights tonight. They're one they want to put behind them against Kingborough on the weekend, but at this stage of the year it's more about getting minutes in the legs of all their players, and when you've got so many you're going to be rotating pretty heavily. This one's worked back to Nesta.
Yeah, we've discussed imports here at Slice of Cheese, and it seems America is the in vogue place once again to be collecting imports from this season. We've seen Canada be popular in the past, and Brazil on some occasions, but it certainly seems like America again is where everyone's heading.
Yes, you've players coming out of the college system there, looking to get overseas for opportunities.
Yeah, and Kingborough's a new goalkeeper as well, as I believe another one on the way as well, an outfield player in addition.
They do still have that goalkeeper, actually, Paul.
No.
And, I think,
He was very much enjoying a house in Kingston about 24 hours ago. So.
I know he's still in the state, but I have heard, this is all very much second hand, but I've heard that he won't be the Lions keeper this year. But maybe that's erroneous, but yeah, I'd heard he was moving elsewhere.
Fascinated by the concept of an electric blind if you watch his Insta story the other day.
I can't say I was on that one, but that's what you're here for, Paul. Count on you to get the details of any players' Insta.
Yeah, and when you're fascinated by an electric blind, don't you think I'm not going to notice? We've got all the mod cons here in Tasmania.
It's got all guide written all over it, that's up in material. Good to see you scouting that one out nice and early, ahead of round 1.
6 months worth of content, don't you worry.
Seeing with guide, the NPL or Tasmanian football as it became at times last year. Why not? This one's headed goalward and should be gathered by Nestor. Ooh, went the punch rather than the catch and just kind of spilt it, but it works out all right. And now Jake Stewart with a chance to show his athleticism. Look him tearing away there from the giraffe. It was the old warhorse who came across and said, I'll snuff this one out.
Yeah, good composure there, Ludford. He saw what was happening, gave himself that extra 10 yards. Hang on a sec, Ash. Yeah, I know we're experimenting, but what on earth was that? Is that the NPL Taz version of Rick rolling, is it?
Just, I think our producer was just missing the Silver Fox on the sidelines there and just decided to insert him into the contest.
I was giving a nice polite point about Hugh Ludford's defending then. I was being very serious.
So look, that's what the game is for, experimenting. He did say Ash he wanted to trial a couple of new things. I wasn't aware that was one of them, but we do have Morton imagery apparently if we have need for it this season.
Look, it's a better photo than one I saw of Ken the other day, looking absolutely lovely from about 1982. I think I'd rather that more recent one than that one I saw.
Throwback. This one is worked into the middle. Luc Farrell, the Frenchman. Inside the final 15 minutes now. Gorry. Pressured there. Jacob Herbert, I think that is, who's just snuck on. Not sure who you replace, but looked like Snowy Herbert. It's James. Turning it over, but defending in the end saves today. Nick Morton. Having a run, then rolling it through, looking for De Souza, that combination again. Those two are going to enjoy playing with each other this year. They're looking like a pretty formidable midfield partnership if they can get going.
Does look like Jakey Stewart was the one who's come off. That was his position. I can't see him being moved around at all.
Can't see him out there, so yeah, it looks like Herbert has come on for Stewart. See a couple more substitutions in the final little bit of this game. South Hobart have made a couple already. Got a chance to go with the long throw of De Souza here. He goes and can't get it over the head of Samuel James. Naden away.
And 2 players left on South Hobart's bench that haven't come on, and 3 for the Knights. So I would expect most of them to get a run out. That's a lovely ball played through to Morton. Gets the toe poke. Nestor comes down well to save that one. And another agreed to play advantage, or I think he was onside there, was the Morthog.
I think the fullback Pooch there just playing him on as Morton might have another chance here. He's surrounded by white shirts though. Flex and then Morton slightly high boot, but gets away with it. Walter. As always, Adam Gorry wide on the right. Swinging this one in. And real commitment there from Gorry. Won it quite nicely through. Hamlet buzzing about, but the Knights defence holding firm. Shimmy away there from Young. He's turned it straight back over to De Souza though. Now Walter to Gorry. Back to Alex Walter. Drops it into the middle for Luc Farrell. Patience here from South Hobart on the offensive. Searching for the go-ahead goal. Rozansky couldn't quite combine there, and now it's Declan Brown with a bit of open field ahead of him. He has a look up. As you see a whole lot, sends it wide. Now chance building. Well, Jake Stewart definitely wasn't substituted because there he is right there, and he's turned it straight over to Adam Gorry. Might have just been resting up front. Jake Stewart is moved forward by Morton, looking for Hamlet. Kadisha pressured there by Hammer Time, and opposite just stroke it out of play. Tired bodies out there, I'm sensing right now, Paul.
Yeah, certainly am. There's a few hands on hips there from the Knights cohort as South Hobart look to make a change, which we will definitely film so we figure out what it is. It's Hugh and Harvey coming on. Luc Farrell coming off after a good, close enough to 80-minute stint in the middle of the park. And still can't confirm who came off, or Jacob Herbert for the Knights. Gorry, it's Morton. Gorry plays it. The new player on the park, Larby. Kieran Brown, whose name I really had to call in about 20 minutes. Knights haven't had a huge amount of pressure on him of late. Eggy tries to play it to Stewart. Ludford again. He's dropping that bit deeper to counter the pace and being able to clear it comfortably. My next guess for sub is Nick Naden. But that's not it, I give up.
I just saw Nades on the opposite flank.
Yeah, give up.
The challenges of calling it off the TV screen here is we're going to see another substitute. That's for Owen Heggie walking off. Let's see who comes on for him.
As up.
And that is Aaron Marnie entering the fray for final 10 minutes or so. Skillful player. And he's got a strong futsaling background and very adept at skipping past players. Aaron Marnie, as this one's looks straight, and here's a chance with the keeper off his line. Sam James sensing the opportunity was there for a spectacular winner, but slicing that one well wide, trying to hit that one to a pretty stiff breeze, and he saw the effects of it.
Yeah, that's, plus the side spin as well, meant that a harmless shot. If we were keeping stats, we might count it as a shot off target, just out of sympathy, I think.
Yeah, it was a shot and it wasn't on target, so I think, absolutely.
It was first touch for Marnie. Fortunately turned over and now it's Adam Gorry. Brown harassing. Oscar Thomas keep that in comfortably and launch it down the line, but a bit too much purchase on it. He's got the wind at his back there in the Giraffe. Now messed up. Leaving that one. So the Giraffe will win comfortably. Now Marnie. Dropping a lot deeper and manages to win the foul in the end. It's Declan Brown started off up front and now appears to be in holding midfield.
It's just slight changing roles.
There's a lot of similarities between the two roles. He's going for a kick-off style there. The quick free kick, eventually taken by the goal scorer Young. As far as Marnie, block there from Gorry. Seems to be playing left back here this evening, normally more of a winger, and you can see why with skills like that. It's Marnie inside. Good defence again. Gilly D'Souza. Young. Back to Kadisha, took an awful bobble right in front of him, and that might set in Alex Walter. He's got two over on the far side, and that's the direction he's going in. Good ball to Hamlet, hits it first time. Oh, just past the post, Ben Hamlet. Called a goal kick, a corner kick in the end, so someone's got a touch on that, but hammer time. Gilt-edged chance here in the second half.
What a ball that was, raking across the field, just split the defence here. Alex Walter. He has a look up, he sees Hamlet's peeled off a few yards and there's no hesitation, just knocks it straight over the top, taking Kadisha out of the play there. And he does pretty well to get back, and you must have got a touch on it, Teddy Kadisha, because the keeper certainly hasn't. Yeah, corner ball, so great recovery from Teddy Kadisha. Perhaps that'll be the end of Ben Hamlet's day. No need to take any risks whatsoever. I don't think he's thrilled with the decision, but should have got up a bit quicker than many.
Yeah, he probably should have. I do admire the commitment of players at his third minute of a pre-season game. Number time coming up. Sam Too's coming on.
All of the South Hobart young pups, they just seem to produce every year 3 or 4 names on there, and within a couple of years they're widely known. Here's Brown. Looks it across to Herbert. Morton. Across to Gorry. He stayed on side here. Gorry in the diving block commitment there. Fantastic work from Herbert. There's a player down in the box still. We brought to a halt for a moment. That is. Just in a bit of discomfort though.
Seems to have got Corky aside from Oscar Thomas is what I'm thinking of, as they've both risen for the header.
He's got one of the Giraffe's hooves maybe. Yeah, down at the moment. Coming on to treat him, it's Samuel James down, so must be here at the lower back.
We do have a couple more on the bench, the Knights. Original salad Tommy Bellini being one. Gengar, Magar being the other. Back to his feet now. Here's James.
See him out. Round one, Samuel James. Have another look and copying a knock from Skatonis there, I think. The lower back.
I think it is a giraffe-related caused injury. Tony Pert did play it out. I'm not sure if it's only the ball like a drop ball, but I reckon he'll give it back to Gorry for a throw-in, and he's got a drop ball. There's Dogger Brown's touch. He's lost absolutely nothing since moving onto the bench. Master of the dark outs. Souza down the line in the Walter direction. Well cut out. Brown. It's the return ball. He's in a bit of space here, looking out wide for a teammate, but a heavy touch. In the end, we'll let Ludford keep that one clear. Cooks right back, and now is, I'm going to say that's either the player coming back on or another sub. And it is another sub. Absolute process of elimination. I'm going to say that's Magar.
I think that's a safe guess. I don't think it could be anyone else.
I don't think it's Tommy Bellini. I've seen that salad enough times in my life to know him at first look.
The other one on the bench, so... Is his name Gengar?
Yeah, I'm double checking that's a Pokemon.
Oh boy. It's definitely a Pokemon if it's Gengar. It's got potential. Well,
yep.
Favourite of mine back in the day, a staple of my 6 Pokemon team was Gengar, I tell you. So this guy's got potential written all over him, Paul.
Yeah. Personal appeal to Coach Sherman, make him in the starting lineup every game, please.
Let's get him involved. Although, you know, as a ghost type, if he's on the bench, there's plenty of potential there too.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to start him and then him go missing in games like some other ghosts. As down the line is D'Souza. Looking towards the back post and a free header on the far side. I believe that'd be Berezinski coming in at the left wing. Just peeled off the defender, Kupch. An acre of space and couldn't quite keep it down. It's another gilt-edged chance for South. That's 2 in the last 5 minutes, and like we see in regular season games, they're finishing the game stronger than their opposition.
They're running it out well here. I think the wind's been a big factor in the second half too, but Hobart searching for a match-winning goal. Great chance there if Berezinski can quite finish it. Knights let off the hook and just holding on here at the moment are the Knights, and they're going to have to do another attack here, though. That was well defended by Young before Gorry could do any damage. And Marnie drawing the foul there from Adam Gorry. Leave the pressure. Can't imagine there'll be too much stoppage time being a pre-season friendly, so final few minutes here.
Don't think they'll have a terribly strict interpretation of 30 seconds for each sub.
I thought so.
Might be here till midnight if they still had it as unlimited subs. As Esther will backpedal and claim that one. Quick throw out to Young. The short option of Marnie and went long down the line. Gorry used his body well. The Ghost pressure the defence. There's certainly Nick Naden out there, so I'm still giving up on that sub. Kupch looking to track it down, but Ludford eases that one out of play.
A chance perhaps for Knights to pinch this one. Dying embers. Bellini. Brown. Comes into the top of the box over Gengar's head, and Adam Gorry plays it first time. Walter had his back turned, and that allowed Marnie in. Skips past one, skips past two, but the Giraffe was there. He was fouled. Well, back there was a foul, so kick opportunity. I've liked Marnie's had it down the left since coming on. Positive intent to run at this defence. A couple of times he's beaten his first marker there.
Yeah, it's how he plays the game, Aaron Marnie. Certainly used to enjoy the days where he just used to put the ball 20 yards in front of him and let him run after it and then mop up defending his good work like I used to do. As that one's towards the back post, over the head of Naden. Might fall to Gengar. Naden's still got it. Turn and shot only results in a goal kick. Again, he's using that wind and his body well there, Nick Naden. Knew it was just going to sit for him. Pretty good idea there to go for the turn and volley.
Yeah, just judged it better than the South Hobart defenders, didn't he? Quite seemed to know where it was going to end up, but quite apply at the finish. Both teams unable to find the late winner as we're in the final minute of regulation. Trying to work something here, but he's turned it over to the magic man, Bellini. He's back inside Teddy Kadisha. He's lost it, and it might be South Hobart's chance to steal it late. But the offside flag is raised there on the Twos or Berezinski, one of the youngsters.
I think it's Twos.
Yeah, it's Twos as well. Well, here's a chance they might just steal it late. That's horrible at the back from the Knights. Nesta flying off his line, the veteran there, alert to the danger. Sticks out the right leg to save them.
Yeah, only just got in there, did Nesta, but as we pointed out, he showed a good set of wheels here today, as that one's into the back post, and that one over the head of Alex Walter. What about rolling it out short? It's always preferable with this wind, as Mahoney will have another chance. Run down the wing, next to go back to Young. Knocking it inside to Herbert. Plays pass only as far as Berezinski. It's the return ball from Twos, and now Naden for the Knights in the back. Ludford not called by the referee. Oscar Thomas thumps it clear. Just tending to petering out this game here as we tick in to stoppage time, or what stoppage time there will be. And just to make our producer happy, Ken Morton has finally stood up off the bench. We have our first Ken sighting.
Yeah, very late on in the piece, and might indeed be for the final kick of the game. I assume Ash has got plans for graphics on top of screens that he's experimenting with there, but we've got the coaches there, so I'm sure there's a greater something that he hasn't filled us in with on that one just yet, but clearly he's got a smirk, so whatever he's hoped to accomplish there has worked.
Well, I'll take a smirk off Ash. We see him when he's not smirking during the season, so we'll take it now as Gengar looks to play it in, and it's beaten everyone in the last minute winner. An absolute tap-in the end. Declan Brown, absolutely nothing at all. Substitute Gengar has just knocked one in the box. Brown has come out, really got to it, almost seemed to happen in slow motion, and there's one happy. Shermo.
So the Sherman tack, I reckon that's probably just about the expression he'd be wearing down on the sidelines after that. It's a real smash and grab here at the end. Just caught at the back, and yeah, keeper dives, doesn't get near it. His own man tumbles over the top of him. And Declan Brown sitting back watching the carnage. Stephen Bradbury says, "Thank you very much, I'll have the winner."
I was going to say, it was the Bradversary last week, popping up all over social media, and Declan Brown's and a fair bit of Stephen Bradbury about that one. Right place at the right time. And all that stoppage time, maybe they are having a more liberal or realistic interpretation of it. Now South Hobart nearly in here. Nesty, that one's come off the shin pad. Ended up going behind him, but as long as it went out of play.
2-1 to Glenorchy Knights here. They've added another one right at the death and probably stolen this one. South Hobart, who have looked the better team in the second half, have seen this one go the other way. That's what football can do to you. Kadisha's and their Knights now just looking to hold on. This will be a great result for them to take into the regular season, that's for sure. But ended pretty stoutly under pressure in the second half, absorbed a lot of pressure, and they've taken their chance at the other end. Gonna walk away from this one victors. What the change in fortunes after a fairly heavy defeat to Kimbra on the weekend.
Just why you can't really completely rely on pre-season results. They're always a bit changeable. And it's been a solid performance by both sides here. I think Knights will be happy with the nominal victory, and they might even sneak another here. It's the goal scorer Brown, looks to play in Naden. There's a player over, but Gorry at the very last minute just gets a toe in, and now it's Ludford. Raking ball in the Morton direction. Marnie picks that one out well, nearly gets it back. Morton's there. Eventually Nick Morton might get it again, but Herbert whacks it clear. Ball's out wide to Gengar. And he provide another assist, the substitute. Gorry this time Gets it clear. There wasn't so many subs. I think Tony lost his watch.
There it is, the final whistle. So it's Glenorchy Knights who will walk away with the victory. They were the better team in the first half, I felt. Went into the sheds 1-1. South Hobart then really quite comfortably the better team in the second half. Couldn't put it on the scoreboard, and Knights strike late to claim a 2-1 victory. So a bit of a seesawing battle this one at times, and plenty for both managers, I reckon, there to work with and work on in the lead into the season.
Yeah, certainly things will be things both managers are happy with, and then ones to improve on. It's almost like that game was a holding pattern for a good portion of that second half, and then after the 80th minute, South had 2 clear-cut chances, and then Glenorchy Knights snuck one away at the death. We'll see if they make a habit of that throughout the NPL season as we look at the goals. Again, first one from the set piece. Young rising high above Havinen. Graham Wright, not much chance there. Put Knights in front, which they held most of the first half. Until a late goal in the first half by South. Gorry in that overlapping run we see so often, and Kadisha couldn't quite get his body turned around. Up until then, I thought he was about the player of the game so far, Teddy Kadisha, but just put that one in the back of the net. And then one of the more odd goals I've ever seen in NPL cooling.
Yeah, Jakey Stewart with a wonderful ball there through to Gengar, who slides it on through. Keeper, bang, straight into his own man. Misjudged horribly by those two. And the beneficiary is Declan Brown. Just wondering if maybe a little hypnosis action there from Gengar has caused that. Either way, it's a 2-1 victory for the Glenorchy Knights. They'll take that and head into the season filled with confidence. James Sherman, the happy man at the end of the 90. He's the man in charge of the Knights this year, and he'll be hoping for plenty of results like that throughout the 2019 season. That's about it from us here this evening as we just experiment and trial with some new technology ahead of the new season. We hope you enjoyed watching the hit out. A pleasure as always bringing it to you. We'll probably hear from us next in 9 days time, Friday night, South Hobart and Olympia in the season opener. We'll have that one for you, and then the following day a massive triple header at KG5. So plenty of action not too far away, just about a week and a couple of days. It all gets underway once again. Do join us then. Till then, stay tuned to Slice of Cheese for all your local football. I've been Andrew Cooling, joining me Paul Hunt. Thanks, Paulie. Great to have you back in the saddle for another season.
Look, happy to be back for another season, and yeah, good evening, everybody.